We just cannot keep taking the thing at the outcome. It won't work.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But in your tones and in what you're saying, you keep giving these examples of women putting themselves in
situations. But Reece, it is a fact.
Going into a relationship.
Reece, it is a fact. It is a fact.
The facts are that men are intolerant. Men are afraid of rejection. Men feel that women are their property.
No, I am not. Listen to me.
Men have been schooled into believing that women are subjected to them.
Reece,
let me come in here. I just want to say that for me, from where I stand, when you and Pastor Sanford was mentioning the old adage that was used by our grandparents before, my cock is let go, is all Friday, so hold your hand. I'm referring to a certain value system, a certain principle that was with that time. And I continue to say that this has changed now it has changed because of the level of awareness that is involved in society. And because of that change in awareness, you don't hear that anymore. Because of that change in awareness, action of both men and women are changing. That is the first thing I wanted to point out. The second thing I want to say, this whole idea, I believe we should try to live as a unit. I don't believe it is just man versus woman. It cannot be, that every man is responsible for all the blame, or woman is responsible for all the blame.
But that's the point, and that's why I'm saying we need to consider all the factors
and curtail both of our action to prevent the incident that has been happening.
That is the point.
And I don't believe anybody on the panel here is condoning, praising the death. We all believe that it should never happen. But we have to come and sit down on the table and look for a way how the sexes, the gender, how we could prevent these things from happening. So it's not just about one side should be getting all the blame because one side is evil. How do we come together to work together to build a family? Because it's the destruction of the family.
You see, Doc, the
destruction of the family that is leading to the fact that people are growing at home with all their fathers in place. A lot of homes are single parents. Sometimes there are no mothers in place. And we have to find a way how we could get this family to function.
But Doc, listen, the point is, and this is all I'm saying, all of the points that you've made are relevant. The bottom line is we need to consider all the factors and address them, rather than when the incident happened, we go around casting blame and demonizing people. Let us find out what are the factors that are at play here. And when we understand them, that's when we start to address the issue. Pastor Simon?
I go back to the point of what we face in our society. We have a lot of homes for single parent, where a lot of our men have not provided the leadership that is needed in the home, godly leadership. And I say that from the context that a lot of men do not read their Bible, they do not go to church, they don't take their family to church. So the young men, when we go growing up, there were a lot of us we went to Sunday school, whether we want to go to church or not. Our mothers make sure, our parents make sure that we go to church. And there's certain values that we learn and that we appreciate. Even in the midst of our own failures, we accept that we have a problem. What I find today in the society, that a lot of people are not willing to take responsibility for their action. Take responsibility for what they are doing. It's somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's problem. As much as you would have that there are men who have violence towards women, there are also the fact that we also have to take into account there are women who put themselves in position that they should not, right? That they should not do it. And like you said, like sometimes women And it's sad. It is not that they want to, and sometimes they do it in the interest of their children. Sometimes they do it in the interest of what it is that they think is best, and sometimes it is not a decision they should take, but they push into a corner, and they have to live this life because they're trying to make it for their family or for their children. And again, it impact not only them, but it impact the children, it impact the society. But the question is, how do we solve, how do we better what we see? And I think we need to be able to look at what is the churches are doing in the community where we are, what is the society itself doing to be able to bring to bear the reality that we face, that this is a problem that is getting worse, and therefore there need to be solid discussion like we're having now. But also, where is there a hotline? Is there a home that a woman that if she's been abused, she can move to? And where either the government have things in place, or there are a group of people who then they can call, or there is a hotline that they can call, that the issue can be addressed to bring it to bear. I think that is important for us to look at.
I feel I'm wondering what's really happening, because Pastor Simon used the same thing again about the women who put themselves in those situations, but in expounding, the situations were not them putting themselves in, it was them finding themselves because of disappointment, based on all what he explained, needing to provide. They end up in these situations. But the beginning always seems as if like these women are just going out there searching for these bad situations. And this is where I disagree. No, we're talking about factors and watching it from all sides and all of that. And we're giving specific scenarios, right? Specific scenarios. My thing is human being to human being. Why is it that I am putting myself in this situation with this no good men and them, with these men that are wicked and bad and beating and whatever? Why am I finding myself in these situations? Why am I putting myself in it? You know why? The thing is not about why, it's the fact that these no good men and them exist. These potential killers exist. So a woman, as Pastor Simon just gave the scenario about how is it that they find themselves because they need to provide for their children, they need to do whatever, right? Is it her fault that she end up with somebody who showed her one side, and when they get involved, showed her another? Does that make her bad? Are we demonizing her? Because we seem to have a problem with demonizing the men that they find themselves in the situation with, or they put themselves with. You are proving something here, that these men exist. They exist. And they are brutal and they are nasty. And the fact that these things are happening to women, it means that they exist. So let us look at the problem from that angle too. Let us look at it from that angle.
But I do not say that we're saying that it do not exist. Everybody accept the fact that it exists. And it exists because there is a situation that we are confronted with where our women are being abused by men who think that they could control the life of a woman and then do what he wants with her, which is wrong. Right? But we're also saying that there are women sometimes who are in this situation, and because of shame, because they do not talk about what they are confronted with or what they are faced with, and it just gets worse. I am saying that we need to look at it, the whole story, not only the woman's situation, but also what are some of the things that we need to put in place to help these women who just fed up and tired of what they're going through and what the men have done to them and how their children are impacted and how that young man feel that he could do it to the next person when he grew up. All right? The breaking that cycle becomes the problem that we are facing as a society. And sometimes we do not want to look the situation head on and said, okay, these are the steps that need to be taken to confront that these violence against women need to be dealt with. We cannot stop it. All right? But we can begin to deal with the issue that people now can take responsibility for their action.
Mm-hmm. So, Scholars, you came in a little late, so I don't know if you were following, but you can chime in.
No, I'm not following, so I need a little time. I just want, and I say, well, let me log on, when I log on, I just hear Reece coughing.
Godfrey, if you take a 2 calls, wise scholar, pick up the thing. I don't know if you have anybody in the line or something. I do.
So, look, I let me just say this, eh?
Every time
we can take some comments.
Are you seeing Godfrey?
No, that's because I have Pastor Sanford Simon is in the studio with me, so the computer is stunned a little bit, so that's why you're not sitting. But we here.
We see him live though. We see him live. We see him live.
I seen you and I don't see Pastor.
No, you ain't gonna see. You go hear us. You ain't gonna see us. You go hear us.
Good night, scholar.
How you do, Chief?
Dear partners, I'm watching you. Like you're looking younger, boy. Every time I see you, a couple of years come out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
A woman that taking care of him soon. Say a lie. You stay there and say a lie. Say a lie.
No, well, it's not about the take care. The giants don't feeling sir.
The what? The
giants? The giants don't feeling young,
Right. Yeah, Reece, you want to take some comments?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll go up to from here. Stillwater said the biggest influence to women's violence is not men, but the media and the government. Blame the media and the government. Marilyn said education is the key to these issues within our society, in school, in each parish, meetings, have social workers, etc. It's very saddening to see this. No one is doing anything about this issue, about this serious matter. It's all starting off into our home as well. We have to teach our children in our homes as parents as well. Children look at what's going on with their homes and follow their parents as well. Some parents don't have utmost respect in front of their children. Mary Ebanks said, it is the dignity of the women. It is the dignity of the women has been eroded over the years. We are now seeing less respect given to women. Stillwater said, blame with music and government for the hypocrite, violent music and music video against women. Onesto said, why Godfrey went and interfered with that government tonight? Me, I am staying in my lane, not with that government. And Marilyn is saying, even though it has single parent, the Bible tells us to train our children from infancy. Proverbs 22 verse 6. Onesto said, well, Doc, you're right. Godfrey, you're right. And Reece, you're right. No pastor end up in the middle. Then we have Marilyn saying the problem it does exist, but we have a conscience to know right from wrong. But something has to be done within our society by educating ourselves. And last one, Jose said, where the community know that she was involved with someone almost twice her age, were her parents aware of that relationship with that adult? So there's a lot of questions to ask. So.
There's
hold on, before we go, there's one I think I received on WhatsApp. Ms. Jerome said, well said, Reece, you couldn't have done it better. Please help me to extend my sympathy to the bereaved families. No one can feel for them. We can just ask God to help them through the struggle. Amen. Yeah.
All right. So we have one comment on the WhatsApp platform. Someone says, the reality of life is that no matter how much we talk and how many systems are put in place, all these things like murder and hatred and violence will never stop. They have been happening from time immemorial, but we cannot stop the conversations regardless. Listen the tone of Madam while trying to address violence with arrogance. So, yeah.
You can imagine that's a tone of Madam trying to approach it. But guess what? The sight of the brutal killing is worse. It's worse. Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
They know what I talk about, and maybe I might be changing the subject, or maybe I might be talking about things I don't talk about. I don't know. But listen to me. Now, the whole thing about this, right? is that I don't have a lot of hope that this is going to get better initially, right? Regardless of what we see, maybe jump up and see and all this kind of thing. We have a problem. We have a big issue in Grenada. Grenada, the land of the warm and the friendly, crime-free, what. But yet still, this is a scourge, as I said, that somehow we just cannot minimize. It is worse here than in places that have big populations and a lot of crime and so on. This particular crime, violence against women and this thing, is much more prevalent here. And probably per capita, we might be one of the worst countries in the world when it comes to this scourge. All right? But when you listen, for example, to the parliamentary sitting that they had recently, where they discussed this deal that they had, and then the Prime Minister went down into some kind of deep kind of philosophy where he was saying basically the same thing that we are saying now, and that I'm hearing, and that Reece has been reading out, and Pastor Simon has been saying, and so on, that we need to delve deeper to solve this thing, right? That we have to look at each individual, at the home, at the family, how we grow up with children, that from an early age, boys must know that they must not put their hand on girls and yada. And he articulated this thing to me so fine. And then from out of the blues, you hear political bangarang say that the Prime Minister say that he blamed the girl family and the girl thing. So when you have this thing and then where we going? This thing ain't gonna solve in a hurry, because when we have this thing and we have all these politics coming into play and so on and so forth, as those silly things started, to me that was just silly things. But this is an important issue that we're trying to delve, and to me, the gentleman was right. And what I heard him say is what we are saying now, and what I'm hearing. I don't hear Reece, but the things that was read out,
and
the same things we're saying now.
I don't know why you keep saying you don't hear Reece, like Reece was going to say something different. No, it's not that, It's the statements, because I agree, and I saw what is it that the Prime Minister said, and I couldn't for the life of me understand why is it that people are saying, like, he tried to blame and all that. I could not agree with that. It was, you didn't even have to listen to it twice to know that, right? But you see, statements are being made here, right, in this forum, where you are saying things like women put themselves in this situation, and talking about demonizing men and stuff like that. Is the language, things are being said, and it's being said in a very loose way, as if
By whom? By whom?
By leader free.
Reece, no, Reece, cool down. Listen. Put the governance aside and let's get the thing right.
Listen.
Right? No, don't tell me listen. Hold on. Listen to me.
Right.
If you listened rather than making all this noise and focus anything properly, you would understand that the issues that we were all getting at was focusing on the factors that lead to these things. And I said, right. Well, watch your mother and listen, man. Just you shut up, Doc. Hold on.
Yes.
Stick up in. I tell you, you're getting like the opposition. Relax. Let me finish and explain what I said. My issue was there we go.
Because that's the second time you mention it, or maybe the third. That sensationalism don't get into me. Keep telling me that I get not like the leader of the opposition. I'm speaking to your language, the things that you are saying, other women, right? My mother is listening to it. My mother has been domestically abused all my life. She's listening to you saying these things about women going and put themselves in these situations. And I'm saying to you, and that is why I brought up what Pastor Simon said. When he said, he made the same statement, but he went and qualified what he was implying, what he was saying, right? And you keep making these statements and them as if like women going and put themselves in this situation and them, the young girl didn't go and try to get herself killed. And that's what I'm getting at.
Godfrey, go ahead now. Go ahead.
No, let she go. No, I don't. No, let she go because
No, I don't, eh?
Shirley, right, you understand?
Leader of the opposition, shut up now. Godfrey, go ahead.
Listen, my issue was, right, that, and I raised it even before she came on, I raised it with Pastor Simon, he can bear me out. One of my questions was, are we teaching our women how to not place themselves in situations so you get this kind of outcomes? I am not speaking of every woman. I'm looking at all the factors that are involved. And there are instances where there are women who have placed themselves in situations like that. This is not a statement, that's not a blanket statement about every woman, but we all know it. And the bottom line is, what we need to consider if we are going to find a solution is to consider everything that is involved rather than just dealing with it when the incident happens. We wouldn't get nowhere like that. If we understand why they happen, I mean, look, we hear a couple people got killed. People lost their lives. Do we know for sure what were the circumstances surrounding it? We don't. All we hear is people talking here, there, everywhere. I have heard so many things about that Tivoli incident. I don't even want to, I have kind of blocked my mind because you just don't know. And based on all of these things, you want to be sure that you understand the factors. What is it, or what are the factors that can lead to that kind of outcome? That is my point. That's the point I'm making.
You're saying this to say, right, that it is quite possible that the young lady looked for she death, as well as it's quite possible that she didn't. You're saying this to say that? That's what you're saying this to say? That you need to understand all the factors?
That's right. That's right.
It's human rights. It's human beings. People must not kill. If you respect life, then you will not kill.
The program. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something? No, I don't know the context from which you spoke and you said that. I don't know what is the context. I'm listening to you now. I don't know what you said that could have irritated Reece in that way. But I will say this, that getting hurt and beating up yourself ain't supposed to solve this, right? Being emotional when it happens and then we die down afterwards ain't go solve this. Screaming and getting on and so on ain't go solve it. I agree in terms of the holistic view that we need to take. I think we have to be dispassionate about it. It's hard to be dispassionate about it at a time like this, but you see, that is the problem I have with gradients and with women and with outbursts like what we see doing, you know, because I'm seeing it on Facebook all the time. Every time that something happens, outbursts and I kick up and I get down and everything. And then 2-3 weeks after that, we boil down like Baji. We boil down as the Juka balloon and the boss. And everything dies down. Now, I ain't saying this before you think. I ain't saying that here because I don't know what your stand will be. I don't know how you will be the thing. But this is the problem. As I told you, I sang about this thing in the Magical last year. And 3/4 grade and they remember.
I
sang about that.
Can I quoted lines tonight?
Let me talk a song about this so you remember, but 3/4 don't remember. Because the thing is that we have a nasty habit in grade. I tell you, last week, we just have old drug men. We look for a fix, and when the fix come, we do things, and then when the thing we look for a fix again, when the buy down, we get good, then we look for a fix again. We ain't gonna solve this thing this week. Alright? We need to be dispassionate about it. We need to be calm about it. and look at the thing from a holistic point of view. So I'm hearing all kind of thing about what we have to do with boys, the family, and that's the way we have to go. But girls must not be out of the equation because they are the ones who are mostly harmed. All right. I said since last week that I posted in the Ministry of Community Development a self-defense class, skill development class for women, vulnerable women. That went very well, that we're looking to expand. And I wish that women could avail themselves of the training, of the self-defense training, because you never know what could happen, right? And while we may speak and we may say what and what, but the odd thing will happen. So women have to learn to defend themselves. So I am taking a proactive stand in this way. I don't just balling and kicking up and getting hurt. But I'm being proactive about it. Let women learn to defend themselves so they could knock down man and squeeze their neck and squeeze their throat and defend themselves properly and squeeze their private organs and defend themselves. So I'm being proactive because that's what we have to do. Making nice and so on about the thing. And go solve the thing. We go be back here making nice again and again and again and again. And that is why I was disappointed with the whole thing with the Prime Minister, what the Prime Minister said, and how it was accepted, and the outburst, the same outburst again that came with it. You know, that's why I was so disappointed.
But you see, Godfrey, I think, and Scholar, I mean, you're correct. It's how do we address the issue that we are confronted with? Because if we're not careful, we just come and next talk and shop because this happened until the next one. And we talk again. But how do we begin to look directly at what the root of the problem and what is the part we need to take? We can't fix all of it, but there's some things we can do, like what you're saying, the self-defense thing that you're doing. Are they education that we're happening, radio programs, or are they community programs talking about violence in our schools? Is there a session that's been done talking to our young men and women about domestic violence and how do you deal with it and what are the things that you do? I think that if we begin to do some soft touches and dealing with some of the solutions to the problem, I think it would help over time. It would bring us closer to helping relieve ourselves from some of the things we see now.
But you see, here is the thing, and this is it, and I'm all for that. But how do we find a solution if we do not understand why it is happening? And this is my point all along. What are the factors involved? What is causing it to happen? And this is where we have to start. And if we don't address it from there, then you're looking for a solution for what? You can't have a solution without a cause.
Right. A young man said to me, I am hitting my girlfriend because she ain't listening to me. I said, well, is she your child? She's not your child. Right? He feel that is, and then you have a man who feels because he married to the woman, he feel that he could have sex with her when he want, whether she want it or not. But that's not right. I mean, you have to look at the issue that we have to understand, that there are issues that we men too need to deal with. Our insecurities, dealing with the way in which we think, the controlling way that we feel that the woman is our property and we could do what we want with her. We need to look at where we are as men and need to deal with our issues and how we then are treating the woman in our lives.
But of course, everything has to be looked at. It just can't be one thing. We have to look at, because you see, it's cause and effect.
I agree.
It's cause and effect. So if we don't understand cause, then how are we going to address the effect? We can't. And that's the bottom line. If we are going to make sense and make any inroads at all, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done in determining why these things are happening, and it's not just one thing. There are a lot of things. You made a couple points. I mean, how look, even the church has a significant role to play in that, because the church is one of the institutions that pushes the whole man power, man authority kind of thing. So what, we're not going to address it and call out the church on these things? We can't. We must deal with everything.
So that we're coming close to the end. Apparently we ain't take no call, but I would really like us to. Anyway, so I just want to reiterate some things that I've been saying earlier. I believe that the focus should be on family and family values as much as possible. Even when there is a single parent, I think society has to, and we should emphasize the responsibility of both parents. And the courts, even when the court make a decision, the focus has to be on the good of the child or the children that is involved. The responsibility of both father and mother. And sometimes I think that we are moving away from that. When some of the decisions taken on the court, those seem to be taken into consideration, the role of both parents. And the emphasis has to be on the children because that is what it should be about. So I wanted to say that there are a lot of things that we need to do. There are a lot of things that has to be done. People have to learn to deal with rejection, particularly our men. And I also believe that there are a lot of programs and different things that can be enacted that has to teach us how to deal with rejection. And one of it might be in terms of a wholesome educational program, teaching from primary school, teaching about ways how we should treat each other with respect. And I think if we continue doing that, as Carla was making the point, it should be an ongoing process. It shouldn't be what happened now and then we react hastily or violently and calls for maximum draconian action. But it should be a way of how we teach, because society has to be what we actually getting right now is a result of maybe values, principles, etc. that was enacted or taught to us 15, 20 years ago. So we're reaping the benefit of that. We can invest now in trying to change society for the better, but relying and focusing on those things that necessary for keeping us as a unit, for making sure that we respect each other. So I just think I wanted to say that maybe as my closing remark.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because we're almost out of time. Skulls?
Well, I know I wasn't a big part of the thing, so I really want to close with thing and say wrong thing. But what I want to tell you, Godfrey, and I want to kind of change the beat a bit before there is a quiet before the storm. There is come and pause again. But I want to before you come and pause, I want to show you this. This is what I was engaged in. You reading it? You see it?
Nah, I can't see too well.
I see sunshine. You get a sunshine award?
Right.
So you feel it alone or go get it?
No, I don't. I don't feel so. It's just that I was way ahead of you.
Well, you know what? We have rich donkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, donkey is there. And I was speaking to the gentleman. I told him I was going on Oui Culture, and he is interested. As a matter of fact, he's really making move to have the Sunshine Award hosted July 9th in Grenada, where Sparrow, I think on that day, Sparrow will be celebrating his 91st birthday. So he wants to bring down Sparrow and have a special Sunshine Awards in Grenada. So I think discussions are in play, and I hope it basically comes true. I mean that award is one that I'll cherish for posterity, and as we continue to fight, I will do what little that I could in my capacity. I mean, I've done all that I could in culture already. So I now have to kind of change focus, and those are the kind of social burning issues that now I believe I must start to champion. So.
Well, congratulations. The Sunshine Award is an award with a lot of weight. So congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Congrats.
Yes.
Congratulations to your scholar and your achievement, and I wish you well as you continue to work to expose what we have in this country, the great talent we have.
Yeah. So, Pastor Simon, you're closing.
I think it's important for us as we look at what is happening in our society. We as a church need to take greater responsibility for our own way of looking at domestic violence. I think we need to have more programs and open ourselves in a way that would help the society to heal, at the same time find solution to the problem. I also believe that we as men need to take greater responsibility and allow ourselves to understand we do not own women, and at the same time women need to be mindful that they have responsibility too, as they look at their own life and where they are, to be able to not just keep what is happening to them inside, but to expose it so the society itself can come to grips with the reality that we face. But I do believe with clarity that we have a problem and it needs to be addressed, and it cannot be addressed by one single partner. We need to collectively work on it to make it happen.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Reece, all yours.
So I'm going to read the comments that are here. Yulin said it has to start in the home first. Charity begins at home. Honesto said, I remember when Ariel Bola was taken away from us. Remember, there were 6 women in parliament as MPs. Some of them are mothers, and not one bill was legislated on Ariel Bola's behalf, where it could have saved other lives if laws was put into effect. After Ariel Bola, there were 3 or more incidents after. Rough Enough said, them girl want free money. They don't want to work for it. Marilyn said, the Prime Minister, what he said is wrong. Saying these things is not good for no one. The families, we need to pray for them all, and no one is saying anything about the Prime Minister because they love him. These saying bad things will not solve the problem. No matter what the facts are, no one have to kill those women. No one will take that for their own family. Rough Enough said, accountability is a woman worst enemy. They never wrong yet. Men go through too much under Jezebel and them. A young thing say she taking all man money and he thinks and she don't care, laughing out loud, shaking my whatever. Alexandra said, but you can say that, bro, women don't put themselves in situations like that. Think occurring situations in relationships. Jose is saying, Reece getting personal now. Reece, calm down. No. How can a solution find if you can't get to the bottom of what happened? I would say the young lady went looking for her death, but what could have drew her to having a relationship with this guy? Was it finance or looking for love in the wrong place? Rough Enough said, Horn caused it. I like when my wife hit me 2 bucks and tell me, put on the rum bottle and go home. Marilyn is saying, Reece is right. This is a very serious issue. We need to talk positive as Grenadians. We're talking bad towards each other, and that would not solve this problem. These killings is not right. We're keeping those families in our prayers, but addressing the issue. Family, not going to church anymore. Education is the key to our youth. Again, parents need to teach their children as they are grown up. How much can the church do? And they are not going to church, so how church could involve? Godfrey, when they don't the family. Anyways, Jose said, I want the authorities to also look into busmen getting involved with our underage school children. It's been a thing that's been going on in Grenada. Up to, as we speaking now, young schoolgirls having a front seat in the buses. The whole school year, we have to start looking into that. Our girls being taken advantage of by these busmen. Stillwater said government need to put serious penalties for violence against women to stop men. 35 years to have them fearful. Rough Enough said, I can beat my child again. Well, they go bet beat me because of this system. Okay. Marilyn said scholar came in late, so you even knew what everyone's saying on the panel. Reece is not wrong, but everyone should listen to each person. And congratulations on your work. Sing on it. Bring the issue to your listeners. Jose said, and that's the last one, let's not excuse the church also because you G-box been molested by pastor and priests. Because I guess you want to say because young boys been molested by pastor and priest. Right. So I know the flow is mine because my reputation is there and all of that. And I am now being compared to whoever. But that does not put me out. I maintain Scholar was not there for the beginning of the program to hear all the things that Livingston was saying. Things to the effect that men go through more violence than women, right? And talking about men and men violence in war and all these things and them. We weren't talking about that. And these are the kind of things that were being used to justify what was happening here. Leader Free say all kind of thing. And I'm talking to him about his language. They keep trying to qualify this thing about his two ways and every way, and you have to look at all sides. But the examples that you are using are, you keep putting women in this thing as if they're foolish. They keep putting themselves in these situations. They are tricksters. They're getting involved, and it's like when they get whatever, we need to know how it happened and what caused it or whatever. My point is, we're human beings. We are not supposed to beat upon each other. If you have respect for people, you would not kill them. You would not do that. And that is the main thing here. So let's not do that. And the most action-based thing I've heard tonight was what Scholar said about teaching women self-defense. You know what? You guys could sit there and talk about, no. It's not women. It's men and women. Because guess what? Men and women, it happens too. We can pretend all we want and make these kind of assertions or whatever. This was the most action-based thing I heard tonight. I actually asked, where are the men in this? And I think that men have to get more involved in this. That is why I asked, where is the 10,000 men march? Where are these things happening? We are getting emotional. The same thing that King subtly tried to accuse me of doing, right? Getting emotional and like running rah. Up to now, nobody could sit there hear me say anything, write anything, or anything like that on social media, radio, anywhere. This is my first time speaking about this here, right? And I'm talking that we need to do more than this candlelight vigil. I agree, the 8 days, and then we forget about it. But there are women who have been living with this thing from generation to generation to generation, right? And if we are going to keep saying that they are putting themselves in that situation, what we are doing is saying, men, you can continue being how you are. It's okay. It's okay for you to be. We understand that's our culture. It's a patriarchal, powerful world. Continue, but the women have to have more sense. Y'all are unfair, and I'm calling you out as hypocrites where that is concerned, and I rest my case.
All right, well, thank you very much, folks. I don't think I have much more to say other than in addressing this problem, we cannot wait until something happens, or we cannot just try to find a solution based on an outcome. The solution has to come by understanding the cause so that we can prevent the effect. Thank you all very much for staying with us, guys. Thank you, Pastor Simon. Thank you for taking the time off to be here. We're looking forward to continue the discussion because there are other parts of it, as it relates to maybe in some instances not death, but when, the abuse part, when people have to be punished or reformed or whatever, we need to also address it. The conversation is a huge one, and we need to continue dealing with it so that we can find a way, as I say, if not solve, but to significantly minimize the problem that we face with. Thank you all. We have a good night. All the best.
Good night, everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Find the greasy pole, and we don't dance from the maple.